We hightailed it to Vegas. $200 later. You know, we're married.
Husky, Husky, Husky. What's shaking, man?
Hey, my man Pauly, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, getting a sip. Had the hot pipes. Started kind of quick. Oh well. Oh well.
Yeah.
How you
And
been? How you been?
I've been apparently doing better than you. You told me a story about something that happened this morning on
Oh,
your car
dude,
ride.
yeah. Young drivers, man. It's how it goes. Kid I ride with, we switch locations. The road we don't typically take going to work, and you holler out deer, you got to start hitting the brake pedals around here because where there's one, there's more than one, and there was three, and he got that last one, and what do? That's why
Yeah.
our insurance rates are so high in the state because we have so many deer, and most of them that do get killed on the road are fawns or does. You don't see many big bucks. You'll see a spike
Mm,
horn or a little four point or something.
mm,
Especially now because rut it's around the corner, man. The leaves are falling, temperatures dropping, and deer are getting active. They know what's coming. Farmers are in the fields, they're taking crops. They know the long winter's coming, and that neck swells up, and they only got one thing on their mind for a little while.
yeah, man. Is your
Like
first
most of
time
us.
hitting a deer, or have you done it
No,
before?
no, 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 no.
It's like
Actually,
a regular thing in Michigan, huh?
you see them alongside of the road. Like I don't know. We have a lot of raccoons as well and possums. You see them alongside
Mm,
the road all the time. I actually totaled my car last winter. Well,
mm,
February or something. I hit one, doing 62, and it was like what I like to call that dark light or that just before that gray light, just before it's dark, but it's still kind of visible.
yep.
And cruise set 62 mile an hour, come up a hill, and this deer just appeared out of it, just nowhere, just come hopping
Mm,
out of the ditch. And I hit this deer mid hop, center of my car, my little work car. It's a Dodge Dart, and it hit the front, rolled on the hood, smashed it in the windshield, overtopped the car, back on the trunk. I mean, this thing dented anything it
dang.
possibly could have. About $7,800 worth of damage. I paid $3,500 for that car, and they fixed it. I was so angry. I was waiting for
Ooh,
one of them checks just to upgrade my work ride, but they
right.
fixed it. They weren't gonna at first. They were only gonna give me a little bit of money, and the adjuster got into it with my mechanics, and it was a big spiel. But they ended up fixing it,
Hmm.
and it's back on the road driving it every day.
Dang, man. So that's like a
Every day.
regular thing there. Here we have, I mean, we get people that hit deer and stuff. I think one of the strangest things is like you get down to like the Southwest, like Texas and Arizona and stuff like that. You'll find armadillos.
Yeah, I've
There's
heard
just
that.
crazy looking thing. It looks like, I don't know, like almost like a little armor plate just sitting on on the
Yep,
side of the
yep.
road. Pretty wild, man. We get a lot of turtles here.
I think I saw one just down the road from my house. Great big snapping turtle. It looked like it.
Oh,
But it's very rare, and I know up north, upper peninsula area of Michigan,
hmm.
um, porcupine. Porcupine. Me and my brother were cruising, it was around hunting season. We were cruising into another town to grab shells or do something. Um, but we saw one on the side of the road. It was
Hmm.
dead porcupine. I mean, as long as we've lived here, we've never seen one. There it was.
Yeah,
And we went to town. We're like, man, we should have picked that up. Got it, took it to the taxidermist, got it mounted because you just don't ever see them. When we
right.
came back, somebody had already picked it
It's
up and it was
gone.
gone. Oh
Of
yeah,
course, man.
yeah.
Of
Just a
course. Yeah, those
rarity
things are
here
wild,
in
man.
our area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I know.
watch off on a tangent. I watch Dr. Pol. I don't know if you ever seen that show before, but he's a veterinary does a lot of like farm vet stuff in Michigan, and he's always like taking care of dogs that have porcupine quills all up in their
Okay.
face. You know, because
No,
dogs
no,
get
I haven't seen it.
curious.
Oh, they
Dogs
do.
get
They do for
yeah, they
sure.
get
Same as
right up.
skunks. Same as
Yeah.
skunks.
Oh, that's true.
I've given a lot of bird dogs baths because they've been sprayed by skunks. We
Man.
had Brittany spaniels forever growing up. Great,
Oh, no
great
kidding.
pheasant hunting dogs, and they get curious and they get into them skunks. Them skunks do everything they can to
Yeah, to
tell them
keep
to
you
back
away. Yep.
away, but
Yep.
once they turn and lift that tail, it's all over for them dogs or you if you're close. And that stuff is a
Yeah.
pain to come out. A pain to
You
come
do the
out.
tomato juice thing, or
Oh,
what do you
dude,
do?
it's a
Like
mess. There's
vinegar?
so many. It's tomato juice, vinegar, Dawn dish soap, hot
Yeah.
water, rinse,
Rinse
wash,
and repeat.
repeat. Yeah, dude, you're outside sleeping for a day or two.
It stinks,
Yeah, dude.
literally.
Yeah, not cool. Not cool one bit.
Yeah. So we did some updates to the website. If you're listening for the
We
first
did.
time, make sure you check out the website. It's going to be cruciblelive.com. On there, you're going to find a actual link to go ahead and sign up for the mailing list. And
Definitely.
why? Tell them why you want to do that, Pauly.
You're going to want to get signed up for this mailing list. And I wish I had it here. But at some point in time, we're not really sure yet, but we are doing a giveaway on this channel from Husky and myself. It is a 5-ounce silver pour that Husky did himself. And actually, I contacted the
stamp maker,
stamp guy, and I'm all set there. But the thing is,
very cool.
is you get an entry for signing up on that email list. You just stay up to date. If something was ever to happen to YouTube as a platform or Spotify or wherever these things end up, we have your email address to let you know that, hey, this is where we're at now. We're on iHeartRadio or whatever's available, right? Because we want this thing to keep going and continue growing. So that is one way to get yourself entered for this giveaway. Now, what's the second way?
Oh, wait, there's more.
There is more.
So the second way to enter is you go to our YouTube channel. This is a specific YouTube channel just for the Crucible, right? Pauly and I have our own individual accounts, Paulybuck's channel, Silver Husky channel. We created a third one. This is the Crucible podcast, right? So that's how you're going to look it up, at the Crucible podcast. You go ahead and subscribe to that. That's going to be a second entry. You got to make your subscribership visible to us to be able to have that as a second entry. But if you want a third way to win, Pauly, let us know. Is there a third way?
I'm just gonna touch on that YouTube thing one more time too. Sometimes folks have their subscriptions hidden, right? Which is cool. That's fine. It's your privacy. At least do us the favor. Watch one of those shorts that we made. They're great parts of past shows, right? Like one of those, comment on them so we can see your name that, hey, okay, they are part of this and they want to be part of this. I know it's going to be really tough to keep track that way, but we know some of those subscriptions are hidden, which is fine. That's your privacy. But do us the favor, watch a couple of those shorts and comment down in there and let us know, hey, you're here and you're watching. And also the third way to enter for a third time, you have a third chance to get an entry. We made a Instagram account. It is at the Crucible Podcast on Instagram. What you got to do there is you just got to follow us on Instagram, and that's going to be another entry if you are on the Instagram. Now, we're also going to be posting all this stuff on Instagram and our YouTube community page on the Crucible podcast YouTube channel. So always follow there. It's always good to follow us here on our respective channels, but eventually this show is going to transfer over to that channel, and that's where we're going to continue growing this thing as we see it growing now. It's great.
That's right. So 3 ways to win. And guys, we're going to put all those links into the description section of this video and moving forward.
Yes.
So if you didn't catch that, or if you're driving or something, don't worry about it. Don't crash. Just later, check out those links and make sure you do them. That's 3 ways to win. 5 ounces of silver, free to you. That's awesome. You have a lot of chances there.
For sure. For sure.
So let's jump into, I want to really quickly jump into these new item just hot off the block.
New item alert.
And I can even tell you where to get them, but they're really cool. If you guys are ever into this, it's kind of like a cult, what would it be called? A cult TV show, right? People really got into it. Peaky Blinders. So if you're familiar with it, you guys know this actor. He actually was he Scarecrow in one of the Batman series. But really cool. It's about early 1900s in the UK, in London, if I'm not mistaken. It's about the gangs of London right after World War I. And
look at that PB in the background.
I wonder what that means. Oh, Peaky Blinders, not Paulybuck.
Dang it.
It is pretty cool though. So these guys were gangsters, and I've not myself watched the show, but I've watched a few clips, and I'm actually probably going to start watching it. I'm not sure exactly how these are, because obviously this is a rendering, right? This is not the actual piece. But once it comes out, I've got one inbound. We can do a little live show where we do a little display of this. But here's the other side of it. And yeah, it's a really interesting piece. It comes in its own Peaky Blinders box, and yeah, the advertised retail price on this is going to be no less than $300.
I believe
Right?
that for sure.
Yeah.
I
So
believe that. Hey, go back to the obverse where it's showing the country. Yeah, right there. Okay, so this is a coin, New A 2023. For those who are listening, not watching, it's got the New A coat of arms right center top of the coin, $5 denomination, 3 nines fine. And man, that shotgun over his shoulder just looks
man.
nice.
And
Nice
2
looking
ounce
ring.
means it's either going to be extra
2
wide or
ounce.
extra
Yeah.
chunky. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll
So
be
that's just
nice.
it. It's either going to be a little bit wider of the millimeter size or just a chunkier piece of silver. Nice,
No, I'm
man.
not
When are
God, not
those?
yet.
When are those expected?
I've heard rumor maybe in December-ish, but I'm not entirely sure yet where you can get them. We've spoken about this gentleman before. His name is Sean D'Souza. You can find him on Facebook. You can find him on
Great guy.
Instagram. Wonderful guy to deal with. Just make sure you tell him Paulybuck and Silver Husky sent you from the Crucible podcast. These guys. But yeah,
And
he
we
can get anything for you.
we talked about those swords last week, and
Yes.
they have now become available. Man, I can't wait to get my hands on one of those.
Yeah, man, those are sweet.
Wow.
Let me see if I can find you one real quick. Hold on. I got it here somewhere. Oh, where is it? Here we go. This guy right here.
Yeah.
So those actually just got not just advertised, but they're now available for purchase. Sean D'Souza has them as well.
Yeah, we were able to talk about them last week because we got the okay, and they are now available for pre-order. And I think those are pushed out till like January or something. But I tell you what,
be a bit.
Pre-order price is a damn good price, and what they're going to retail for and what they're going to sell for after the fact is obviously much,
be crazy.
more.
Yeah, you're going to find that a lot of pieces that have that level of detail and collectability to them, they typically skyrocket.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just the fact of you weren't in the know. Now you know about it, and you're like, this is a nice thing. This is what I'm going to pay. This is fine by me because this thing is beautiful and I can't wait to see it. Right.
That's right.
And that's usually how that goes. It's just it's just those random bullion dealers that you don't know about that carry stuff like this. This isn't on APMEX, I guess. I don't know. I doubt they'll carry it. I guess I can't be 100% sure on that, but that's just something that they don't advertise if they do until the day of, and then there it is. Like pre-advertising about it.
There's a lot of these pieces that APMEX will eventually carry, and here's what they do. This is to kind of keep you guys in the know. They will wait to see what other people are advertising them for, and they will wait a little bit longer to see as the prices rise where to price them at. So they don't like to be the first one in. They like to be right around in the middle, and then they'll set their price because they have, they're a big name. They're an online bullion
biggest
retailer.
bullion dealer here in the U.S., if not probably the biggest.
Global, maybe. Yeah, I think LPM is close.
They're comparable. That's Hong Kong. Yeah, I mean that's be comparable.
Yeah, so what they'll do is they'll set that price higher, and then that becomes the standard price. Like if you go to a lot of coin shows, they base their pricing off of APMEX pricing. It's really, I don't think it's good pricing, but if it sells, it sells.
That's it, and that's where they're at with it. And most generally, you don't see them drop a price on APMEX. If anything, it goes up. It goes up, especially with an item like that. They'll put. There was no mintage limit on it, I don't believe, but if they have 500 of them, they'll put 150 for sale. When they sell through those, the price will go up, and then all of a sudden there'll be 223 more. There you go. Now the price is $375, whatever it's going to be.
I remember that game. That's the game. The game I used to play before I met Sean D'Souza.
Well, there you go. I mean, a lot of us did. Well, maybe a lot of us didn't, but I know I was right there with you, and it's It
Like
was
the
the
Gods of
speed
Olympus
game.
series.
Dude, buying them from LPM, trying to get them shipped over here fat, and then you get them hung up in customs or something.
Yeah, man.
Dude, come
Customs.
on.
Oof.
It's even worse now.
Yeah.
But if it's something on LPM that you know isn't going to be anywhere else and Sean doesn't have it, it's not a bad site to shop from other than the shipping cost. You know, it's a reputable dealer, and it's just that shipping cost over here. It's a little bit pricey. A little bit pricey.
So they got to make it worth your while. You know, you got to either put in a
Well,
huge order.
Yeah.
Or
Like you're
in the
not
case
buying
of
1 single ounce of silver.
no, that's not worth it at all. You pay like 4 times more than it's worth.
Right.
But like that's where having someone like Sean in your back pocket actually becomes very useful, because what he can do is he would buy in bulk whatever that item you're looking for. He'll buy a bunch of them, and it makes it worth your time and money. He'll get them in for a cheaper price.
And he's built that reputation. He's been building that for years and years and years. And
Oh yeah.
I don't, maybe we'll have him on here one day, but I want to say he started very, very slowly on Facebook and then just kind of grew from there.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if we can get him on sometime. I know he's a busy man, but we'll see.
Give us a call.
Call us, Sean.
Give us a call. Give us a call. All right, dude, listen.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago,
yeah,
you peeled some layers back on me. And I think it's time. I think it's time that we do the same to you. Kind of like you said with me, you know, you and I chatted via text message, whatever, for a couple years now.
Right.
And not many have had that experience with you, and people listening, they really, maybe they've never even been to your YouTube channel. Somebody that's listening to this right now somewhere else, you know, they're catching it on Spotify right now, or they're catching it on Amazon Music. They saw the thumbnail and they said, well, what the hell is this? Who is this Silver Husky guy? And I think we should do a little bit of that as we did with me 2 weeks ago.
I'm game.
You're game? Well, good, because I came prepared. I know I cheat. Did. I got cheat notes, crib notes. I got crib notes.
Uh-oh.
All right, dude, check it out. We're gonna start off with a little bit of background, right? I'm gonna give you a little bit of background. We'll get some background from you, and then we'll get into a little bit more casual, and then I'm gonna hit you at the end with some rapid fire.
Oh, Lord.
Just right off questions. The top, right? Well, it's 10, I think. I think I wrote down 10.
Okay, all right.
But off the top of your head type style answers, if that's cool with you.
Got it.
All right, dude, check it out. Give our listeners just a little bit of background from where you came from to, let's say, your childhood growing up to into adulthood. And you really don't have to get into a bunch of stories or anything like that. Just where was young Emil, and then what got him to where he is today, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so grew up in a single parent household. My mom raised me in Northern Virginia, right outside of DC. I was a child of the 80s, kind of teenager in the 90s. Great time to grow up. If you're one of the newer kids watching this, that was a great era to grow up in. There was no cell phone, so nothing was recorded. Nothing could bite you in the butt. You could actually have a fair childhood. I loved it. You know, I spent a lot of time outside exploring, doing stuff out in the yard or out in the forest, whatever. Had a kid really young. So I actually, growing up, I was in a Catholic school from K through 8. And then after 8th grade, I was like, yeah, I'm really tired of these uniforms and stuff. So can I asked my mom, can I go to a public school? I bet she regrets it to this day, because by the 3rd or 4th year, I was in trouble all the time, man. I was bad. Catholic kids can be bad, man. Like, we have that bad gene in us, I think.
It's the stuff that wants to get out that, you know, while you're there, probably shouldn't.
Yeah. So had a kid at 17, and that was kind of like a turning point for me, because I knew, you know, I always had I could say a responsible gene in me, where I knew that I screwed up, right? I need to make it right, and I need to give this kid the best chance he's got. So I said, well, I'm not going to cut it in college. I know that I'm not ready for that. and I can't just go right into the workforce. I got to do something bigger. So I said, military is going to be the way to go. And if I'm going to join the military, I'm going to pick the biggest, heaviest boot to kick me in the butt. So I joined the Marine Corps, and somehow tested into aviation. I worked on helicopters, couple tours in Iraq. I would say 9/11 was a big turning point because that kind of like geared me towards that. I guess I could say.
What year was that you would
Oh,
have joined?
I joined in 2000.
2000. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it would have been. What was it? Probably August of 2000. And then 9/11 happened. I was about a year and a half in or so, because what was that, 2001, right?
Yeah.
So I was about a
Oh,
year
one.
and some change in, and it actually happened while I was in DC. I was back home on leave. I was, surprisingly enough, going through a custody battle, trying to get custody of my oldest, my son, and yeah, I was in Alexandria when the Pentagon got hit. We could hear the pop off in the distance
Ooh.
when the plane hit. Went outside and looked, and we saw smoke bellowing up and everything. And so we didn't know what was happening really. We saw it on the TV, like we were in the recruiting station playing it on the TV. And as the day went on, you would see people started pouring into the recruiting station. They wanted to go over. They didn't know what was happening, but
Right.
they assumed it was probably something terrorist related, and they all started coming in. And that was, I mean, I have to say, like, living in this country my whole life, I've seen our country go through ebbs and flows, but I'll say post 9/11 was probably the most patriotic I've ever
Yes.
felt, and the most unified I've ever felt our country be. So
And
to me,
that's
that was, it's terrible what happened, but what came of it to me was like one of the greatest unifying factors that our country has experienced, at least in my lifetime.
I'm right there
You
with
know,
you.
yeah,
Right
it
there with you.
was. So I went very willingly. I went overseas, did a couple tours there. Before that, before heading over, actually, this one I met my wife. I met her. This is funny. You're gonna laugh. Do you remember Yahoo chat rooms or AIM
Yeah.
or anything like
Oh
that? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So I met my wife in a Yahoo chat room. I was back in California, Camp Pendleton, hanging out in the barracks on my buddy's computer because I didn't have a laptop, but I was on his laptop. And I was just chatting away in some California chat room, and this cute girl started talking to her, and lo and behold, like 6 months later, I went to go meet her. Um, I will say, and this is me being very candid here, she was a little bit younger than me.
Okay.
I was like 19 at the time, and just say she was not 19. She was a little bit younger than me, but my barracks mates were all like, "Dude, you're gonna go up there, and it's gonna be some kind of sting operation. Either that, or it's gonna be a 40-year-old dude." So they were like, so
Yeah.
so I drove from San Diego to Bakersfield to go meet her, and I mean, I fell in love. She was great, and you can say the rest is history, but the reality is, um, she got pregnant. I'm really good at that, apparently, but she
Hey, I'm right there with you.
you're better than me. You're better than me at it, but she got pregnant, and it was right at the same time that I got orders to go to Iraq. So
Okay.
we hightailed it to Vegas. $200 later, we're married, and that's going on 20 years ago now. We'll hit our 20 years in the spring.
That's awesome,
So
dude. Congrats. Congrats on
yeah,
that. That's a tough thing to do. I mean, especially nowadays. I mean, you see it every day. People getting divorced because of,
yeah, yep.
these
Well,
things.
hey, you know what? We've been close. We were close. I
Yeah,
think everybody
no, and
goes through that.
that's where I'm going to say how you grew up, or how when the times you met, it you had conversations, right? It was constant
Mhm.
conversations, and you still conversate today because that's what you have to. You told me a week or so ago, look, man, I'm shutting down for the next couple days, so I'm just letting you know, if you
Yep.
can't reach me, that's why. And that's a
Yep.
great thing, and a lot of people need to do that, and we do similar things here, like as you do, and
Hmm.
many people should, because they are addicting. You can get addicted to these devices,
Yep.
and for the bad. It's you could sit there and scroll TikTok it for
Oh
hours
my
and you
God,
didn't
yeah.
even know you just lost all that time, just lost it all. Never getting it
And
back.
and what did you gain? Maybe like
Nothing.
one good
You
recipe.
probably, yeah,
Something
a good
stupid.
recipe, couple laughs, and you just feel dumb. You just feel
Yep.
like, what happened?
Like a zombie. Like a
Been there.
zombie.
Been there. It's not fun. It's not
Yeah,
fun.
man. Yeah. So I would say, so yeah, after my 2 deployments, got out and I didn't want to work on aircraft anymore. So I just kind of went into the medical field. I did go back to college, got a degree in biology, and just been working in the medical field, working my way through there, and now I'm an auditor. So
Okay.
nobody ever grows up and says, I want to be an auditor when I grow up. But hey, here I am.
Hey, where it leads you. I want to say thank you for your service, and I hope people
Thank you.
listening would say the same. And maybe they're saying it through the radio or through their speakers and their headphones while they're working out or running, whatever they're doing. But truly, thank you for your service, brother. And I hope somebody gives you a handshake every time they meet you, because everybody deserves it that did what you've done.
I
But what I want to
appreciate you,
get
man.
into is, how was the boot camp? Is that something you can talk about?
Yeah.
Is that you hear a lot of rumors, because I've not in the military. I had a few uncles that were Marines, or not were Marines, are Marines. Um, they told some pretty good stories that it is what it is. They are training you to do that work, and it is torture.
So I can only speak to how it was in the 2000 era. I don't know how it is now. I know from my understanding it was much harder in the decades prior,
Okay.
as in like hard enough to where sometimes recruits died like out in the field training. Like the drill instructor put them through so much rigor that
Put them
they
through
would
so much
literally
hell, yeah.
they would drown in the marshes and stuff like that. So that stuff did happen. But in the era that I was there, I don't think it was that bad, but it was hard for sure. And I think the rationale behind it is they want to put you in as much of a stressful environment as they can, so that when they're sending you off to war, they know that at least you know how to handle yourself. At least you made it through boot camp. So if you made it through boot camp, you could most likely survive through war.
Survive that situation.
Yeah, and I'll say that I understand that. I get the logic behind there. I talk to my kids about it pretty often, um, about the little things that you don't even realize that they're training you to do and why they're training you to do it. So, for instance,
But it
if you
sticks.
oh, it sticks for your life. Like you
Yeah.
can't like if I meet somebody out in public and they're even a little bit older than me, I usually refer to them as sir or ma'am. They
Sure,
usually hate
sure.
it. But I mean, some people call it manners. I call it's just ingrained in my mind. That's how
Hmm.
I refer to people. Another factor, one of my kids is the slowest eater you've ever met in your life. Like he can have himself like 3 of those little microwave burritos, and it'll take him about an hour and a half to finish them. Like
Really?
the last one's frozen again by the time he's getting to it. But like me, if you and I ever meet and we go eat somewhere, I'll probably be halfway done with my food while you're going through your first sentence. Like whatever you're talking about, I scarf it, and I can't really. I try to control it, but it's hard for me to do that
It's
because it's been
embedded.
ingrained in my yeah, it's
Yep.
embedded.
It's embedded.
And
Why is that? Why? I mean, what was the time limit for eating your chow there? I mean,
oh,
why is
sometimes
that?
sometimes
Because
it's little.
because not just you, but if my
Yeah,
wife are out eating without the kids or something, and you're sitting in a restaurant, you look around, you could pretty much pick out just by that of
yeah,
who's been in the service. I mean that's just, it's a bad habit for me. But when we're sitting down, my ears just get wide open,
yeah,
and I can hear conversations
yeah.
3 tables over. She hates that.
Yeah.
She hates that. But it's just one of those things that happens, and then it is
Well,
what it is. But
it's
why?
kind of like
Why is that?
you could tell who's maybe even been to prison by the way they eat, because they guard their food. They
Or hunched
eat like
straight over,
this.
right?
Yeah. So in the military, the way or the reason they train you to do that, and you don't even really need it unless you're in a combat environment. But you got to figure
Okay.
like things like combat. If you're in a 12-hour firefight, you're in a 15-hour or 3-day firefight, you might have chow, you might have food to eat. You don't have a lot of time to eat it. and you sitting down to take the time to eat it brings your guard down. So you really
Okay.
don't want to do that. So they ingrain it into you from boot camp to just inhale your food as quickly as possible so that you're back in the fight, you're back, at alert, at attention to be able to handle whatever's coming. And
And
that's
that makes
really it.
perfect sense. Makes
But
perfect sense.
it sticks. It's like I can't not eat
Yep.
fast. So it's kind of annoying because I don't know. I kind of want to take my time and enjoy the food, but I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so we did that, and that's here you are today.
Yeah.
A few years back, you got into doing a YouTube channel. What made you decide to say, "Hey, I'm going to start publishing some videos on YouTube"?
Yeah.
What was
So
that ultimate decision about?
I'm gonna start by saying a disclaimer that my YouTube channel is not fantastic. It's not even well maintained as far as like actual precious metals videos. I don't do a lot of them anymore.
But it used to be,
It
right?
used to be. It used to be
It
something
was.
I was very diligent about.
You have some
I
videos on there, great videos with a lot of views, and people still
Yeah,
watching them today. So it's not,
yeah,
don't down talk it, because there's good stuff on there. There is.
yeah. There's a couple of
You
them
may
that
not
there's a
take
couple
care of
that
it or do more with it today, but there's some good stuff
Yeah.
there.
There's a couple that surprised me. There's one that like I put no effort into it whatsoever.
Yeah.
It was just me recording some stupid stuff and I still get at least 2 to 3 comments a week on it.
Yeah.
And whatever, I'll take it. So what got me to start it, I think it was when I was first getting into the whole precious metal scene, and I don't know if this might be one of the other questions that you have, like how I got into it.
It
It
all kind of, I figured you were going to get into that, but it all kind of gels together. Sure.
Yeah, so I I don't know how I got into a kind of like a rabbit hole, the YouTube rabbit hole that you can easily fall into, watching videos about doomsday prepping. And I don't know if that's just the way my brain works, like the military brain in me. It's like preparedness or whatever. But that's kind of like I went down that rabbit hole, learning about EMPs and SHTF and what to do. And that's when they started talking about bartering in a
Hmm.
post SHTF scenario and things you can do to prepare yourself that way. And aside from having food to barter, water, coffee, cigarettes, things like that, medications. Uh, Precious metals always came up, and it was
Okay.
usually silver being the more affordable of the precious metals. But to me, I was like, all right, well, I don't have any of those, and I don't know any of those. So I guess my mindset was like, okay, binge that topic. And as I
Okay.
started to binge the topic, I realized that there was only at the time there was only maybe 10 to 15 channels that even delved into any of that. And there, a lot of them are still around today. I mean, you see the I don't know, the big ones like I'll say from the economic side of it, it would be like Mike Maloney and Peter Schiff, right? But on the other
Okay.
side of it, you have people like Silver Dragons. He's got a massive channel now,
Sure.
and
Sure.
Backyard Bullion, and a couple of the other ones. And I started following them when they were, at 5,000 or 10,000 followers, and
Okay.
just watch them grow. And I was like, well, if this is a such a little pond, it must be really easy to become a big fish. And I said that it's possible. So let me go ahead and try it. So I created a channel, and I would say probably it took me maybe 4 or 5 months to get up to 1,000.
Okay.
Uh, got up
That's
to a
good time.
thousand.
Damn good time.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. And then I decided to stop. So something you don't know about me is for a period of time when I was in South Florida, I actually was very much involved in a multi-level marketing group, and they were leveraging the Amway Corporation, and it was actually really intriguing to me the way that they made it work, and I had a lot of personal development. That I needed to go through, and I was
Uh-huh.
very grateful for having people kind of guide me through that. And I needed it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was a hothead, man. I was a hothead, didn't know how to talk to people. Had it what it really was, it boiled down to low self-esteem. And
Okay.
I kind of projected that on everyone around me. So I needed to fix that, and they helped me a lot with that. I'm not involved with them anymore, but it was definitely a part of my life that I appreciate. But in that period of time, one thing that I needed to work on was to carve out any distractions from my life, and
Right.
things like YouTube, like social media, those were all huge distractions for me. I tend to get sucked in and addicted to that stuff. So I actually took about a year off of every social media, no Instagram, no Facebook. I think that's when I finally closed out my MySpace.
Oh shoot.
But yeah, I don't even know if half the people watching this probably
Oh
don't even know what that is.
man.
But yeah, I mean, all
Woo.
those things that right. And thankfully I never had Twitter, or I never really have a Twitter, but I never do anything with it. But so
Yeah, same way. I think I made an account, but there's I don't use it. I don't use it. It's
kind of,
X now, by the way.
yeah, oh yeah, kind of like Threads, like that's dumb. Anyways,
I mean, they wanted it to take off, but it's just not happening. It's
yeah, they're still pushing it. But
stay on Instagram.
so I got off of everything, and then I came back. And I would like to say with a vengeance, because what I started my channel from scratch. I started it because when I was quitting all that, I quit it completely. I deleted probably over 1,000 some odd people from my Facebook. And these are kids that I went to high school with,
Right.
friends that I had in the Marines. I still haven't been able to find them all again.
Oh man.
But yeah, so it kind of sucked. But on the same note, I really needed that time to myself.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
but coming back, starting YouTube again from scratch, and I got it up to 1,000 again, got monetized again. This time, I think it took a little bit less time. I think I did it in 3 months. So again, it can be done. It's not hard to be a big fish in a little pond. It just takes work and consistency. And then once I got it to a certain point, I just kind of let it ride, and then it kind of started to fizzle. And that's what happens when you don't keep up with it.
Yeah, and that and to touch on one of the channels that you mentioned, Silver Dragons, that's what he still does today is consistency.
Oh yeah.
Consistent. If and I know there's a lot of people out there that just have a channel to show their stuff off, and they're not looking to grow their channel, which is 100% completely fine whatsoever.
Mhm.
And I still myself watch some of that stuff because it's interesting to see what the real world is actually out there buying and spending their hard-earned dollars on. It's consistency. You have to be
Yeah.
consistent. You have to keep up with the times. It's another job basically inside of a job. And
Yeah.
if it's something you don't enjoy doing, it's really tough to keep at it because you can hit those
Yeah.
holes and those stop signs. And next thing you know, you're just if it's a chore to record a video, then you probably ain't gonna last long.
Yeah. Your heart's
That's the
not
thing
in
with
it.
YouTube.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
And
Most definitely.
one thing about a lot of those channels that I did notice, and I'm sure you can attest to it too, once you've been doing it for a while, or once they've been doing it for a while, it becomes very hard to make new content. You can't really have new things to
Yeah,
talk about in
right.
precious metals. So it's like 95% just rehashing, and then 5% either putting a new spin on it or
Hmm.
just updates. Like since the last time I brought this up, here are
Yep.
the new
Yep.
things. And that's
Or
it.
it's what's happening now. Let's just use, and I'm gonna want to dig into it because it's whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
The war that's going on now. You're seeing all these again bigger channels going to pop up, and what could happen to the price of metals if
Oh
this
yeah.
happened, or war is here, stack now, stuff like that, just for clicks.
Super
They're using
speculative.
a
Yep.
exactly super speculative. The thumbnails, the titles sell it all,
Hmm.
and it's terrible. It's a terrible thing that this is going on, and it's tough to call it war profiting, but that's, to me, that's what it is. You're profiting off a tragedy that's happening nowhere
Yep.
near us, the Middle East, right?
Yep.
And it's sad.
And
It
it's
is
for
it
the
is sad.
clicks. It's for
Exactly.
the
That's all it's
clicks,
for.
but
It's all
yeah.
it's for because
But
it's
I
all
mean,
speculative.
if you look at, if you go into YouTube and you just type in constitutional silver or 90% silver, you're gonna
I
get,
actually just shared one on Instagram today.
yeah, you're gonna get like 500 videos
Hmm.
probably. Um, they're probably most likely separated into groups of the same users just rehashing it over and over again. And
Yes.
if you watch 3 of them, I can almost assure you that you're not going to get any new information from watching the other
Right.
497 of them.
Right.
But
Right.
they are still going to keep producing them
Yes.
because they know that people
There's
watch
more
them.
people behind them who watched them who
Mhm.
haven't seen it yet. Every day, a new person
Yep.
is getting on YouTube and typing in something about precious metals.
Yeah.
And if you pop up and they watch your video and you like it,
You got a new
that's how
subscriber.
you
Yep.
do. You do. And
Yeah,
hopefully they go back and they watch other stuff and maybe they share it with their friends that, hey, man, check this out. And
but
that's
it
how
doesn't even
the
have to
organic
be.
growth starts.
But it doesn't even have to be like a. We'll say it doesn't have to be a new user. It can be somebody who's been in the metals industry for 10
Yes.
years, but they like that. It's an echo chamber. They like to hear what they're already familiar with, and it's kind of like reassuring to them. You hear something over and over and over again. To you, it becomes your
You're like,
truth.
all right, cool,
So,
cool, right.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
good. I'm glad this one's talking about it too, because I thought this other guy was a little nuts the way he was talking
yeah,
about it.
yep. That's what it is.
Well, cool, man. Cool, man. I know some of your hobbies. Just some stuff that you show on Instagram. But
Uh,
for someone who doesn't know, what types of hobbies, one or two, would you say you have? And to follow up on that, what is something about you that somebody wouldn't know by just looking at you? They would say, no way he does that. And maybe that's
mm,
involved with your hobbies as well. But they say you told them that you're into this, and they say, no, you're not. You're lying. You're lying.
yeah, yeah. All right. So I had alluded to the fact that I'm all into preparedness. And I think that um, that preparedness gene or whatever it is kind of like seeps into every angle of my life. And I'm talking everything from obviously precious metals. That was the root of it. But I've been gardening since I was a kid. So I like
Oh,
gardening.
green thumb.
I like getting my hands dirty. I like harvesting stuff. That's always fun. But we started with chickens. Just this last weekend, we bought a pig. So I breed chickens. Eventually, we're going to start
I
breeding
saw.
pigs.
I
Yeah,
saw.
man. And
You
and
follow this guy on Instagram, you're gonna see it.
yeah, lots of chickens, and they sell. Who knew? Who knew? Chickens are money. More ways than one. So to me, that's probably my biggest hobby right now. And I mean, I'm probably a farmer through and through at this point. Like I build the chicken coops, I'm building fences and posts
Yep.
and gates and all
Just
that
by
stuff.
seeing the picture, you can tell that you really enjoy yourself, right?
Oh, and I love it. I love being
It's
outside.
cool.
The only thing I
It's
hate
cool to
about
see.
outside is the mosquitoes. Like, oof,
They were
they're the
bad.
worst.
They've been bad.
They've been real bad. I like fishing a lot, a lot, a lot. If I could do it more often, I would. But it is something that eats up a whole lot of time. I might actually go this weekend up in the Potomac, up by
Okay.
DC. But yeah, it's a good pastime. Being outdoors, nature, stuff like that. I'm a TV junkie too, TV and movies. Marvel fan. What else? Something about me
Love
that you
Marvel. Love
might
Marvel.
not know. I know how to knit. I don't know.
There you go. I would never
There it
guess
is.
you know how to knit.
I
Come
know how to
on.
knit.
I'm gonna
I,
expect some socks come Christmas.
there you go. I tried to learn a little
That's
bit of
awesome.
Russian once. What else? I'm fluent in Spanish.
All right.
Uh, that's something about me.
That's cool, dude. Knitting.
Knitting.
Knitting. All right, I got a couple more of these ones before we get into some casual stuff.
Okay.
What is the biggest favor you've ever had to do for somebody? And with that, what is the biggest favor you've had to ask somebody to do for you, if there's any at all?
So, I'm something about me, I guess. I keep my circle really, really, really small. And I'm saying so small that I'd be totally fine if it was just me, my wife, and my kids, and that's it.
100%. Yep.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, I
like,
know 100%. I know 100%. There's a guy I could call right now that I haven't talked to in years, and he's in that circle of mine,
yeah,
and I'm in that circle
yep,
with him. We know if that phone rings and either our names come across, something's up, or he just wants to, talk. That's all.
yeah. I've got some good friends, like not gonna lie, I've got some good friends, and they're kind of scattered all across the US. Marine buddies or buddies from that, I met just along the way. There's lots of them, but like when we moved to North Carolina, I we don't have any friends here. And I mean, there's some people we know, we don't hang out with them, and it's kind of on purpose,
Right. Sure.
because
Sure.
uh, our time is very valuable to us, and that's not to say I don't want to do favors for people, because I totally would. It's just that then it
Okay.
almost puts you in that paradox of, okay, you did them a favor, do they owe you one, or should
Yep.
you expect,
Yep.
and then if they do a favor for you, so I don't ever ask favors of
All
anybody, man.
right.
Like,
All
you know what
right.
I mean? Like you'll be hard pressed to find me asking you or anyone for a favor.
Cool.
I just don't like handouts. I don't like help.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Unless I'm like dying, then of course, I might say something. But so biggest favor. So this one time in Florida, I was helping my buddy move, and I had a pickup
Hate
truck
that.
and everything.
Hate that.
Yeah, that's always tough,
It's tough.
helping people move. And
Hey
you're the
man,
guy
what's
with the
going
truck.
on? I
You
need you to
got a
help me
truck,
move.
right? Yeah. So I didn't say no to him. I was like, sure, let's go. So my wife and I, we went over and helped him pack everything. And his mattress, right? He straps it into the back of my truck. And my wife's like, that's not gonna cut it. And him, he pats it on the top, and he's like, that
It's
should do
good.
it. It's good. That should do it. That'll
Classic.
that'll hold.
That
Right.
all. That's a
So,
classic.
dude, we're driving to their new place. We're going up 95, and I look in the back mirror, right, the rear view, and I'm like, babe, where's the mattress? And she looks back. She's like, oh no. And then I see my phone ringing, so I pick it up. I'm like, hey, and it's his wife, and she's like, did you guys lose the mattress? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. Where is it? She's like, it's on the highway. I'm like, oh, let me pull over. She's like, no, it's under a bus.
Drug down the highway.
A bus hit it and started dragging it down the highway, man.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, man. And I was so ashamed, but then again, it was his fault. But
Right. That'll hold.
that old,
That's either
yeah.
gonna work or it's not gonna work. We
So
want it to work.
advice is always listen to your wife, I guess.
I'm gonna edit that out. Hey, hey. Now you asked me this one last week and it hit pretty deep.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask you, and then we're gonna move on to the casuals. And maybe you already answered it, but was there a decision in your life that you ever had to make that changed your life? And maybe we had already talked about, maybe it was the early pregnancy and going to join the Marines, but
Yeah.
was there something, is there something else in that, or was that a pretty big moment in your life, and that's kind of what made you who you are today?
So yeah, I can't say that there was any one decision, because it was many decisions, and
Mm-hmm.
our lives are riddled with turning points. And I think my wife and I figured out early on that when you make the hard decision, your life gets easier. And like, I'll tell you, we started out from nothing. Like, I didn't grow up with money. We weren't,
Mm-hmm.
we were broke, living in my mom's basement. I'm talking like our meals on a day-to-day basis were like ramen noodles and mac and
I would
cheese,
say
and not
hit me
not
with the ramen. Hit me with the
not
ramen,
not the
right?
cups either, the flat ones, the little ones that you
Yeah.
had to boil. That
Yeah.
was every night, and that's what we would feed our kids too, because that's all we had. We were on WIC. We were broke, man. We were so broke. And we look back at those days, and we look at today, and we're like, damn, we've come a long way. And the only reason we came a long way is because we never stopped. We never gave up. Again, we didn't ask for handouts. We didn't like them. Every now and then, my family members, like my mom or my aunt, they would help us because they saw that, hey, these guys are struggling,
Yeah.
so let's
Yeah.
help them. But the reality was, when these turning points, when a moment of a tough decision came, we always leaned into it, or at least
Good.
one of us did. I mean, there was one time when we were, again, I mentioned to you, we were on the brink of divorce. Um, when you're on the brink of divorce, you don't want to think about anything else, right? All you want to think about is that one pivotal issue, right? But at that time, I was also full time at work because we needed money
Mm-hmm.
to eat. I decided to enroll in school, and I was a full time student too. So I was going to college, and these are college level science courses like organic chemistry and all those
Okay.
calculus, crazy stuff that people under best circumstances don't pass. Yeah, it's tough. But I was doing all of that and trying to be a full-time dad too.
Sure.
And it was tough. We were, and since we were both kind of single, I was dating. I was dating too. So I was doing all of that. And that part, the dating part, was probably stupid. I probably should have focused more on the other stuff, and I see that and admit it now. But
Yeah.
But the reality is we still pushed through. In the end, we ended up working things out and came out on top of that. And as the years went on, more and more moments like that came, where we just again lean into it, and things on the other side of it were always better. So I mean, I want to say lucky, like we were lucky, and in many cases we probably were lucky. But I think it also has to do with just you see a tough scenario and don't stop. You just keep pushing.
Just push on through it, brother. Push
Mm.
on through it. Well, dude, I appreciate sharing all that. That's a lot of good information that probably not many knew, especially me, knew about. So that's good. It gets us closer and it gets the audience closer to the both of us. It's good stuff. Now let's get into a little bit of casual stuff, a little bit of fun stuff. You're going on a trip. Are you the driver or are you the passenger? Where do you prefer to be? Now, where do you prefer to be? Not where you're told to be, but where would you prefer to be? Would you like to be the guy behind the wheel, or you want to be
hate
just cruising?
driving, dude. I hate driving. I'll drive and I'm good at it. I just hate driving, man. If we got to get somewhere fast, I'll drive.
Right on.
But if it's like somewhere that we don't need to be there right now, and whatever, it's been a long day, I want to be able to nap. Put me in the passenger seat. I'll be your navigator. I'll be your DJ. Just, I don't want to drive.
Speaking of taking naps, okay, you and I both like to take in a nice vacation, right? And more than a couple times a year. What is your bucket list dream vacation? It could be for you want to go there for 3-4 days and just take it all in. What is that for you?
Honestly, it's anywhere. Well, top on the list would have to be safe. Has to be a safe country. But anywhere that is safe and preferably tropical with beaches, palm trees, and good music. I don't care what country you can. I mean, it could even be Hawaii. Hawaii was fantastic, but you could put me in Bali, put me in Maldives. Yeah.
A good beach book is tough to beat, especially on these vacations we still got a lot of baggage we got to take with us, so it's tough to get through some of them chapters, but
we don't take the baggage with us.
You don't? Oh man, we take them. We do go. We go on an anniversary trip, the two of us, and we spend 3 nights, 2 days together, and that's a good time to get away.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite animal and why?
Cuttlefish.
Cuttlefish. Why?
Extremely intelligent, and they can not only change their color, but they can change their skin. They have these it's almost like muscles that allows them to like make protrusions in their skin, so they can look like almost anything under the sea. They can mimic a coral or something like that.
Cool.
So yeah, something like that. So yeah, they kind of look like a spaceship too when they're floating in the water. If you've never seen one,
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna look it up though after this.
It's a cousin of the octopus. But
okay.
Yeah, it's a really neat looking critter. Cuttlefish.
I wasn't expecting that. That's awesome. All right, we're both Marvel guys, right? We're into Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, you're a Marvel guy. Like you're in the movies. You're one of the action figures. It's Husky. You're Professor X's New Mutant. What's your superpower?
Ooh. Oh, only one?
It's your superpower, man. Damn. Superpowers, I guess. Don't be greedy.
So
don't be greedy.
I'm greedy.
You're already a mutant. You're already a mutant.
So there's some mutants that have like overlapping powers. Like So I have an answer for that. Um, Primarily, I would love time travel. I would love
Oh,
time travel. I'd love to be able to see the way the world was, go back 100, 500, 10,000 years ago, see what it was like that back then. I would like to see what the world is like, 40,000 years in the future, just to
oof.
see what, yeah, I mean, who knows?
I
That's a
don't know.
long time.
That is a
That's a long
long
time.
time. That's a long time.
But to go with that, you would also need immortality so that you could
Mhm.
actually, go to this era and not die of whatever plague they got going on there. And I
But
also
with the immortality, you're gonna get there eventually, right?
maybe, I don't know. And then I think the other one, um, space travel. I want to see some other planets. You need the
Cool.
immortality for that one too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it.
Dang. All right. Little easier one. What's your sign? Like
Guess.
well, I'm no good at this. I'm a Cancer. I'm
Okay.
gonna say Virgo.
No, no, no.
No.
I'm hard headed, very romantic, but very stubborn and moderately aggressive sometimes. I'm a Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Oh yeah.
Scorpio.
Oh
Ladies,
yeah.
he's taken and it's Scorpio. All right, man. Look at I got some rapid fire now coming at you.
Do it, man.
And just off the top of your head, best you can, favorite movie?
Boondock Saints. No. Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok. Okay. Favorite food? Now we already
Mm.
know you shovel it in, so maybe you don't have a favorite, but what's your favorite dish?
Oh man. It'd be between Mexican food and seafood. I love seafood. But
So he likes the fish tacos.
actually, I don't really care for fish tacos, but I like steamed crab and shrimp and all that stuff. That
Okay.
stuff's amazing. Our buddy John, he took me to a crawfish boil down in Louisiana, and
A few
man,
years
that
back,
was
I remember the pictures.
so good, man. That was amazing. Um,
John,
John, yeah, give him
call
a
us.
call.
Call
Do it.
us.
So I'd say it'd either be that or there's this Mexican spot I go to, and I get this quesadilla that has shrimp, steak, and chicken in it, and it's superb. If you ever come visit me, I'm gonna take you there. I take everybody there. It's my spot.
I'd eat
Like
it. I'd
my
eat it.
wife and
Yeah.
I, my wife and I go there 2 to 3 times a week. I'm not even BSing you, man. That's our spot.
Dang.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite drink after that?
Oh, what I drink the most of is water. Like I drink water like this. You might think is vodka or scotch or something. That's water. But if I had to choose just like a fountain beverage or something, I'd say
Yeah.
Coke.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Gotcha. And I know you got a new pickup, but what's
I
your
did.
is that your favorite car manufacturer?
Toyota is my favorite car manufacturer based off of reliability. I think that
Okay.
they are unparalleled with how long their vehicles last and how maintenance free or maintenance light they are.
And I like the fact that more and more there's two things there's one thing I like and one thing I dislike. I like
Mm,
the fact that more and more are made here in the United States. What
right.
I don't like is where all that money ends up going after the fact of the sales and everything. That's
Yeah.
that's my love hate
Yeah.
with them. That's my love hate with
So
them.
so I would not disagree with you. However, I'll say I do like that my money is not
No, no,
continuously
yeah,
spent
oh,
over
100%.
over
Yeah,
and over
yeah,
again on
right.
maintenance.
No,
Because you know
yeah,
what I mean?
100%. Right, 100%. No, totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Favorite color?
Ah, I wear blue the most, but I don't mind purple, black, red. But I probably wear blue the most.
I'm going with purple. Mine's purple. Season, time of the year. What's your favorite season? Fall, spring, winter, summer.
Mm, spring and fall.
Cool.
I like summer for beaches. Man, I'm kind of I like winter a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of cold, maybe one nice snow. Give me a
Ooh,
fire and we're good. Fall is great because I don't do the pumpkin spice garbage, but like you know what I mean? Like
no.
I like the pumpkin season. I like
I
Halloween.
like the smells that we have like right now here in Michigan, like we got that rain and leaves are falling. And when you walk in the yards, like I do for work, you can smell that, just that fall, that leaf. It's just a aroma of just, okay, times are changing. You know, that's the way I look at it. It's such a great feeling. And then, you know, ultimately winter comes.
I like spring too, because then spring is like, okay, now I can get out in the garden and start putting
reborn
my plants in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm not going to hold you to a song, but if you have one, name it. But song/band.
Probably Nirvana. Yeah, and I go through phases. Like there's some songs that I like for a period of time, but I find that Nirvana still has some. They got some good Everlast songs that I can listen to whenever. Maybe. Oh, what's that song called? I think it's called "In the Pines" or "The Pines" or something like that.
In the pines.
Yeah, where the sun never shines.
Yeah, that's the one.
I'll shiver the whole night. Yeah, it's from their Unplugged soundtrack. That's probably one of my favorites.
You're lacing up a pair of shoes. What sport you going to play?
I'll go running. I don't do sports, man.
You don't do sports.
No, man.
Ain't got a basketball hoop in the driveway, nothing?
Nope. Nada, man. I don't do soccer.
Kick a soccer ball?
Nope. I can kick it, but I ain't following it.
All right, he's going for a jog, ladies and gentlemen. He's going jogging. He's going to be listening to the Crucible podcast while he's jogging. I can guarantee you that.
It's a good time to do it. Or I'll lace up and I'll go fishing.
Okay, you got one to pick from. The rest of your life, is it going to be silver or gold?
Gold.
With you.
Gold.
I'm going to give you a quote.
Better portability.
Yeah, I mean, okay, let's just talk about that for a second. Yes. And if I need to, I can fill my pockets with it and go where I can't go that far or that fast with kilos and 10-ounce bars and tubes of everything. If there's a fire, I'm getting as much gold out of here as I can, even though it's all in a fireproof safe. I'm getting what I can when I can. If I'm around to do it, the silver, if I have time, I'll give it a shot and grab some, right? I'm going to shut the safe and hope for the best.
That's exactly it.
I'm going to give you a quote, and it's one that I really like, and then I'm going to ask you to give me a quote, one of your favorite quotes, if you do have one. Mine is, if the world were perfect, it wouldn't be. And that's Yogi Berra.
Okay.
It's so fitting for forever, every day, every year. If the world's perfect for me, that doesn't mean it's perfect for you. If the world's perfect for you, that doesn't mean it's perfect for me. It's just one of those ones that always just hits home with me, and I kind of always come back to it. If it's an argument at home, if it's a disagreement at work, it's just one of those ones that's simple to remember and just say, hey, Paul, it's okay. The world's just not perfect, and just get past it. You know, whatever it is, what it is.
I hear that quote, and I think almost like it's the imperfections that's where you find beauty in the world, are in the imperfections. Like if something,
it always leads me back to John Lennon's Imagine too.
Yeah.
If more people listen to that, you never know.
I'm going to send you a track, actually. It's Eleanor Rigby, but it's remade by a guy named Cody Fry, I think.
Okay.
I'll play it. I'll send it to you. You got to listen to it. Like put some headphones on and just tune everyone else out and just listen. It's amazing, man. It's amazing. All right. Quote for you. I'm going to go with one by Stephen Pressfield. He says, most of us have two lives, the life we live and the unlived life within us. In between the two stands resistance. So again, going back to that statement that I mentioned to you was, you have these moments in your life where you're facing resistance, and you can either turn away from it and like curl back into your comfort zone and not realize your full potential, or go ahead and realize that full potential and do whatever you can to make it happen. Did you ever watch that movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once?
No.
Dude, it is the most ridiculous movie you'll ever see in your life, but there's like such a deep meaning to it. Like, there's There's
I'm
there's a
writing it
butt
down.
there's a butt plug fight scene. So you have to see it just for that. If you haven't watched it, there's a butt plug fight scene. I made my brother-in-law watch it. He was laughing his butt off. He's like, "What the hell am I watching?" I was like, just watch it. So, but the point is, so it's a story about the multiverse and kind of like a Marvel themed kind of movie. But in that you have this one character who in each different version of the multiverse, she's somebody else. And the main character, the main version of her is the worst version, like the version that did the least, like always shuddered from any kind of difficult situation and is living the most terrible life in squalor. Like she's poor. And the other end is like one who's like a famous actress and whatever. So it's just, you make the right decisions, it gives you a different outcome in life. So anyways, check out that movie. It's friggin' awesome.
I wrote it down, took a note, so we're gonna check it out.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Peeling the Onion back on Silver Husky, and thank you very much, dude. That was a good one. A lot of information come out on that, and I hope those who are listening enjoyed it.
Well, I enjoyed you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. No, this is cool, brother. This is cool.
All right, folks. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week. We'll have a potentially a surprise guest.
Ooh.